Look at that grey day. Look at it. Awful. Anyway, I'm Lorien. I'm a tarot reader and general busybody in the way of the occult. I'm here to bring you your monthly tarot readings for your individual signs. Thank you so much for those who have actually subscribed. I wanted to give a personal note to you for that. And also, if you'd like any more general, sorry about that, bird flew past. If you'd like a personal reading, please get in touch with me. If you have any spiritual questions, I'm always on hand. Please don't hesitate to get in touch. And hopefully I'll have a video camera next week. So more readings to come. Okay, Virgo, let's take a look and see what we have coming up for you in the month of June 2015. A lot of my friends are Virgos, so I'm particularly interested to see what seems to be coming through for you guys too. I'm using the, just in case you're wondering, I'm using the Druidcraft Tarot deck, which a dear friend of mine gave to me for my birthday last year, and it's become very important in my personal practice, so I hope you get a lot of energy from these cards too. So along the top we have 4 cards, one representing the energies of around 1 week, and the bottom card represents the overall theme for June. You may possibly think that there are some scary cards here, but nope, it looks all to be happening as intended from where I'm sitting. Yes, there are a few almost warning messages here, just cautionary tales, but as ever, if you feel like you want me to go for a bit more in depth on a one-to-one basis with you, do get in contact with me on the links below to see what I can do for you. But for now, here's the general reading for Virgo. Okay, so the first card we have is the Ace of Wands. This literally jumps out at me. It's almost a call to action in many ways. It could be interpreted as the birth of an idea or an aspect of something like a light bulb going off in your mind, It's the feeling of sudden clarity. So if you put yourself as the deer in this picture, it's almost like he's saying, I know how to get across that ravine now. So it's the spark of truth and how you can get around things. Maybe even a renewed passion in your job, a renewed passion in your relationship as well. You figure out in this week a way to make it all the more exciting and readily available to get on with your progress and move forwards. I personally love the Ace of Wands, especially if I have a case of writer's block, because it means that I'm going to find a solution. I won't have to sit at my desk and go, okay, so how do I figure this out? I know that it's coming and the solution's right there, or at least it's going to be an extra buzz for my energy. So to begin with, in June, it seems to me that you may be able to enjoy not only a fiery aspect of pushing through to get the thing that you wanted done, but also to maybe figure out a way to get it done a lot quicker than you intended. This second week, though, seems to give you a message of acting cautiously. Virgos, as I understand, like to look at things very practically rather than emotionally sometimes. Now, this is normally before you make a decision which can be more beneficial. But with the rush of the first week, I think this was pushed based on emotion, and this was based on more of the fiery aspect of yourself. And the second card says, now is the time to turn it down a notch. So if you spend too much energy, you may find yourself using up your reserve pot. So everybody has an abundance of energy, or a certain amount of energy. Once that has actually gone to a low point, you then start using the reserves. You can't afford to do that. It's the time to slow down. You will have experienced such a buzz from going forwards in a rush on the first week that you may be at risk of burning the candle at both ends, so to speak. So just let this be for a minute. There's no harm in actually taking a step backwards. It also says to me, just reading into it a little bit further, Scorpio also got this in their second week actually, and similarly, they were almost rebelling in the first week with a charge of a wand card too. But for you, this second week seems to be saying that you might get disappointed by something. This may be actually caused by somebody not reacting in the way you expected, or I think when or if you do get disappointed by something, don't be afraid to take yourself away somewhere and to get yourself together. Do not be afraid of a big cry as well. It's not the end of the world, but it might not even be something big. But it will cause you to want to step away from the world and tell it to go away just for a little bit. It seems to me just to be a kind of, I can't deal with this right now. It was such an impulsive thing to start with the month, that if you're in danger of crashing and burning, you may feel a little bit over emotional. So don't be afraid just to go into your cave and just stay there for a while. It won't last long, because the beautiful influence of the sun in the third week and that wonderful card comes through. I mean, look at that little boy's joy. Look at him. I don't know why he's riding on a horse naked, but I think that it's just kind of the healthy breeze. I feel this is indicative of your ideas or your efforts finally appearing to pay off in a big way. So you've hung back slightly, you've had your cry or you've had your moment, as my mum would like to call it. You've had your moment, and now you can push forwards. You will be ready to ride forwards and try again. That's basically what this says. It's a renewal. The image actually reminds me of Gandalf in the Two Towers. You know, when he... Spoiler alert, by the way, if you've not seen it. And if you've not seen it, shame on you. Bit of a Lord of the Rings geek here. But when he comes back as Gandalf 2.0 and has this massive backlight scene behind him announcing that he's refreshed and renewed and he's better than he ever was before, this is you, Virgo. This is now you. You've taken the time and now you're ready to ride onwards and make some music, or take your talents on and make something different out of them. So it's a very good card here. And I think with the amount of attention that you'll be receiving, it leads into the fourth week and the sense of Cernuos, or however you say his name, because the only thing I'd say is don't get lost and don't wander from the path. Because of the last card here, seems to be someone or something distracting you. You may be allowing yourself to be distracted by it as well. They might not necessarily want to, you might just do it voluntarily. Cernuos, I think that's how you say it, is not a malevolent god. Certainly in this deck he's there to warn of the inner depth of human nature as well as celebrate it. But I feel this is a warning to those of you who are in relationships who are in danger of it becoming very secluded. Animal instincts, getting down to the core of human nature is fine, yes. But if you take away the meaning behind the image, and I would say just go based on what normal people might see, you know, if they weren't aware of what tarot meant. So it's almost like two people in a horror movie going to sleep, while a big stag-like horror movie character is creeping up behind them and they're going to be slashed in a minute or something like that. It's not the meaning of the card, but it's kind of the warning that it carries with it. They're so involved, they're not aware of the dangers of being so involved. And I feel like you need to pay attention to things that you have the potential to lose. In this typical deck, in a typical deck, he'd be the devil, this card. And it does still carry a slight message of that somewhere. I think that would be either don't get trapped in the relationship or don't let a relationship get all of your time. If it's not a relationship, a project, because it's kind of a partnership, you and the work and the ideas that you're forming and nurturing. But there's a saying that you lose two of your closest friends when you get into a new relationship. And whether this is work or a person for you, Virgo, you need to look around you and figure out who you're in danger of losing. You have a great need of duty for other people, but your personal responsibilities don't need 100% attention all the time. Okay, focus elsewhere. Detach and be observant, and then go out and maybe hug the people you've not hugged in quite some time. Don't be so practical or presume that everything's going to be fine, or, you know, oh, she'll be alright, she'll understand, or, you know, he can wait a few weeks before I make the time to go and see him. Don't do that, because if you don't nurture them as well as much as you're nurturing what you have around you immediately in your own little bubble, you're not going to have anybody to go back to, or you're not going to have that person to hug in the next 2 weeks. You're not going to have that person who would normally have understood for the first maybe 5 times you did it. but after a certain point they are just going to walk away. So going into July, you can sleep, you can take the time to be one with whatever you're doing, but just make sure you wake up in time to keep those who, or that which is precious to you, still around. And now the card below is that of the overall theme, which is, I hate pronouncing this most of all, the Ferelt, I think. And she's very busy alchemizing her life and sorting out things which need to be done. She's lost in her work and probably also an element of healing there too. I think this is for the second week. But harmony will assist any creative endeavour you have this month. With the card of sparking creativity here to begin with, rolling on with the need to detach, then being up again, then being down again, I'd say that balance is very much something you need to keep in mind, especially with the last one, the last card there. It seems to me like someone will be at their wit's end, possibly, with something around you. They may be on your behalf, or it may be because of. So the ferret seems to say, please keep yourself motivated, but also be aware of what's going on around you. You can't please everyone, nor should you please everyone. Don't even try to please everybody because you'll fail. But you can make people and friends and work colleagues feel more involved in your life than perhaps you're currently doing. You seem to be in solitary mode in June, or creating a solitary atmosphere. So as much understanding as people do have for that, I'd say try and recapture the essences of what's going on here. And it's a very powerful month for you. It seems to be preparing to forge you forwards, I think, from the uncertainty that you had in May to something very definitive. Just don't let it go from one extreme to the other. Again, balance. Take a leaf out of Libra's book and keep yourself aware of what's going on around you, as well as in your inner bubble. Somebody might need you this month. Somebody might really want to reach out but not know how to do it. So just keep mindful of the people who you may be risking leaving behind or leaving altogether. All in all, I do wish you the best for the month of June. As much as effort that I'm actually putting into saying don't leave people behind, some people can be cut out of your life if you choose to. But it's just some people, I think, that are more important that you don't want to let them go, are at risk of walking away or being shut out. Not intentionally. I have no question that you're not intentionally doing this. But in June, it's just a warning to be mindful of your actions and your inactions, especially, because it may come across that you're leaving some people out. And I would love to know how things go for you. I mean, as you say, I have a lot of friends that are Virgos. It may not play out the same for everybody, but I think it'd be interesting to find out. If you'd like me to take a look in more personal detail, do get in touch. But in the meantime, my dear Virgo people, have a very happy and energetic June. Share your stories below, and I look forward to reading for you in July.